Mr. Speaker, I thank my friend from Georgia for yielding the customary 30 minutes to me. Before I would begin, I'd like to take a moment, as have almost all of our colleagues that have spoken here today, to offer my sincerest condolences to the people of Boston, Massachusetts, following the deadly explosions at Monday's marathon. I can't speak for everyone here, but I believe that most of us would say that our thoughts and prayers of the United States Congress are with the victims, their families, and friends at this most difficult time. Those responsible for this act of terror will be brought to justice. Mr. Speaker, while I rise today in support of H.R. 624, the Cyber Intelligence Sharing and Protection Act, better known as CISPA, I do not support the rule, and my friend from Georgia spoke about how important it is that we have the reading of the rule, and one of the particular efforts of Congress that allows for there not to be any abridgment of that. But I do believe that we would be better served if this were an open rule. Last night during our Rules Committee hearing, the majority blocked several germane Democratic amendments which would have further helped to balance cybersecurity concerns with smart policies that protect our citizens. I spoke to those issues last night, and I raised them again, particularly the two amendments offered by our colleagues, Ms. Schakowsky and others, and Mr. Schiff and others. However, the underlying CISPA legislation is, as my friend from Georgia said, a bipartisan bill that aims to safeguard our nation's computer networks and critical infrastructure by allowing for two-way cyber threat information sharing on an entirely voluntary basis, both between the private sector and the federal government and within the private sector itself. In his March 12, 2013 testimony before the Senate Intelligence Committee, the Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper, stated for the first time that cyber attacks and cyber espionage have supplanted terrorism as the top security threat facing the United States. In recent months, media reports have highlighted cyber attacks on several major U.S. companies, including Facebook, Google, and the network security from RSA, as well as the New York Times, Bloomberg News, and the Washington Post newspapers. Furthermore, government networks, such as those of the Central Intelligence Agency and the United States Senate, have also been targeted by hackers. And waves of cyber attacks have sought to disrupt operations at financial institutions and service providers, including American Express, J.P. Morgan, Chase, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, MasterCard, PayPal, and Visa. The fact of the matter is that state actors, terrorist organizations, and criminal groups, individuals, and countless persons that describe themselves as hackers attack our private and public computer networks thousands of times every day. Many foreign hackers seek to steal valuable trade secrets, which results in the loss of countless American jobs. There are estimates that have been quoted of loss from economic espionage that range as upwards as high as $400 billion a year. Unfortunately, the same vulnerabilities used to steal trade secrets can be used to attack the critical infrastructure we depend on every day. Our economy, our power grids, and our defenses are increasingly reliant on computers and network integration. These networks power our homes, provide our clean water, protect our bank accounts, defend our intellectual property, guard our national security information, and manage other critical services. In addition to intellectual property and national security intelligence, personal finance, health care, and other private records are prime targets for attackers to steal. According to the Information Technology Industry Council, 18 adults become victims to cybercrime, including identity theft and phishing campaigns, every second. This adds up to 1.5 million cybercrime victims each day. Cyber attacks present a very real and dangerous threat to the United States. However, the government currently does not have the authority to share classified cyber intelligence information with the private sector. While private companies have taken considerable measures to protect their networks, they often have limited information and can only respond to known threats. Cyber threats evolve at the speed of technology, and CISPA, this measure, helps the private sector protect against cyber attacks by providing companies with the latest cyber threat information from the intelligence community, which has timely, classified information about destructive malware. This cyber threat intelligence is the information that companies and the government need to protect and defend their networks. The so-called signatures are primarily made up of numerical codes consisting of zeros and ones without any personal information attached. CISPA is the product of close cooperation between the intelligence community, the private sector companies, and trade groups, and to a certain degree of the White House as it pertains to many of the measures that are included in this legislation. During their efforts to improve the bill, they also maintain a dialogue with privacy advocates in an effort to strengthen civil liberties, protections, and oversight. I add a personal note here for the reason that over a period of 10 years, I served 8 of those years on the Intelligence Committee. And the now chairman of the Intelligence Committee and ranking member were both junior members of the committee that I served on. They have risen to the position that they are in and have acted in an extremely responsible way over a 2-year period of time, trying to bring a measure as complicated as this one, contemplating all of the factors that I've identified and more, including the members of the committee. I would urge members of the House of Representatives, many of them continue to have concerns not only about this particular legislation, but about other intelligence matters, and rightly so are they concerned. But let me remind them that they are members of a body that allows, if they wish to go into the spaces of the Intelligence Committee and to be briefed by staff and members there on classified information upon appropriate undertakings, they too can gain the information and insight that's needed in order to make an intelligent determination when they are voting, rather than come out here and criticize the people that do that hard work. They get no benefits, no concerns from the members, and yet cannot say all of the things that are needed to say or be said to the American public. The same holds for Adam Schiff and Jan Schakowsky and others that I won't mention that I served on that committee with. These are conscientious people that spend more time than almost any member of Congress on any matter that he or she are attending to. And I have great respect for them. I don't agree with everything that either or all of them say. But I know they put their heart and time both in the amendments that are offered as well as in this bill and the particulars that are being put forward to this body. As a result of their work, 19 improvements to enhance privacy and protect Americans have been adopted. Chief among them, this CISPA measure that requires the government to eliminate any personal information it receives that is not necessary to understand the cyber threat. It creates no new authorities for any agency, and I can't say that enough. It creates no new authorities for any agencies. It gives companies the flexibility to choose which agency within the intelligence community they would like to work with or to protect the cyber networks. It requires an annual review and report by the intelligence community's Inspector General of the government's use of any information shared by the private sector, and I would urge members, when we increase the responsibilities of the Inspector General, that we also give the Inspector General the resources in order to be able to do the necessary oversight that is required in this legislation. It includes something that I very much support, and that is a 5-year sunset provision. I've supported other 5-year sunset provisions in the intelligence community and would have preferred in this instance that it be a 3-year provision, but the fact of the matter is it's 5, and we will learn an awful lot during that period of time, and we will be back here dealing with this same subject at some point in the future. Allowing for the appropriate sharing of cyber threat information between the government and private sectors is key to protecting our nation from those who would do us harm. CISPA balances the critical need to strengthen our cyber defenses while protecting Americans' individual privacy. I reserve the balance of my time, Mr.
Gentleman's time.